Hi everyone, I'm Tom and today I'm going to be showing you Project L and its Finesse expansion. This is an overview, but if you would like to see the game in action, I'm also doing a playthrough of the expansion, and I did a playthrough back when the original was on Kickstarter. It's on Kickstarter now with an expansion. Check it out, it's linked in the description. And as always, I'll mention I was paid to make this video. So Project L is a polyomino game. We start off with some tiny shapes that we will be placing into puzzles, upgrading, grabbing new shapes, and hopefully filling bigger and better puzzles as the game goes on. For just the base game, you can basically ignore the coins and this bottom row of tiles. In the base game, there are 2 rows of tiles, black and white, and on your turn, you have 3 actions. You can spend them on taking a puzzle. Early on in the game, you probably want one of the smaller puzzles that are easier to complete. They're not worth as many points, but you can get them done faster. So you can take a puzzle and it will get replaced from the stack that it came from. You have space for 4 puzzles in front of you. You can take a level 1 piece from the reserve. A level 1 piece is the small yellow square. So I could do that as a second action. You can upgrade a piece in your supply. So there is a tree up here of how they go, and you can see they're basically done by their size. So there's level 1 with the yellow squares. There is the green level 2s. Level 3 is split into the blue straights and the orange Ls. Level 4, we've got a whole variety up here of different shapes to choose from. And level 5 are from the Ghost Pieces expansion, which I do not have here. So when you're upgrading, you can take any one of your pieces in your supply here, and you can move it up. So I could upgrade it from this green one to either the blue or the L. I could keep it the same level. So if I was upgrading one of these great big Ls, I could upgrade by keeping the same level, but getting a different shaped piece depending on my needs. And you can also downgrade if you really needed to. Say these pieces were too big for the gap that you had left. You can place a piece on one of your puzzles, or you can do the master action, which lets you place one piece on all the puzzles that you've got in front of you. So later on, as you get multiple tiles in front of you, the master action becomes more and more effective. Because now for one action, I could basically put 3 pieces down on these cards. And they are all, beautiful dual-layered things that hold the pieces in all nicely. The only prototype components in front of you here are the Finesse tiles, which are still pretty close to final, and the coins may change. But even as they are now, they are rather lovely, as you can see. Now, over the course of the game, through filling these pieces up, you get a certain number of points. Some of the white tiles aren't worth any points. You also get a bonus piece. So completing this tile would reward you with a little green shape in your supply. But also, all of the pieces you use to fill up that tile go back into your supply. So you're building a kind of engine for yourself, because now you've got these better pieces and an extra new piece to go on filling up your other shapes in the future. Oh wow, it's almost like it's planned. And so completing this one in the future would get you another L, but then you would get all the shapes back off this. So now you've got more and more, and as you are upgrading and swapping these pieces, you've got more and more to take into these things, and then eventually brave the black cards, harder to fill up, but worth more points, and can reward you with bigger shapes. The black stack running out is the trigger for the end of the game. Once it has run out, we go one more round, and then we count up everyone's points from their completed cards. But at the very end, everyone does have a chance to put as many pieces as they like on unfinished cards. The downside being they will lose a point for every piece they did this to, but they will lose points for unfinished cards in front of them as well, equal to the points on the tile. So if you've got some of these black pieces unfinished at the end of the game, it can be very handy, putting in some of your great big pieces. Just losing a point each time might just fill up the tile for you and save you taking that big penalty. So that's just Project L's base game. Finesse adds these Finesse tiles, the coins, and a lovely bag for you to fit all of your pieces in. There are A, B, and C tiles with different abilities on them, and you select 2 A's, 2 B's, and 6 C's, and shuffle them all up and lay them out underneath the card displays. Now, these also serve as a round tracker. There are 10 rounds in the game now. The game can still end early by the black stack running out, So for the first 2 rounds, there's going to be no effect on the game. You just play those as normal, because you can only achieve finesse tiles if they are face up. So at the end of each round, a finesse tile is taken away from the game. So the first 2 rounds, nothing extra would happen, and we would just remove them from the game. But you can see everything that's coming up to plan for it, because now in round 3, you can get rewarded with coins based on actions you take or the things you have at the end of your turn. So these blue ones here relate to the end of your turn. The pink ones relate to every time you do something. So in round 3 here, for every one of these shapes in your supply or on puzzles in front of you at the end of your turn, you get a coin. So just in the example that I still have in front of me, I have 1 each of those pieces, so I would get myself 2 coins. They go here, especially if you earn them from the pink ones, and at the end of your turn they go over into your supply, so you can't spend them the same turn that you earn them. Some other tiles we have here is a coin every time you place one of these pieces shown into puzzles in front of you, a coin for every unfinished puzzle in front of you, or at the end of your turn, a coin for every type that you have in front of you, every type shown. And there are also plenty of others that didn't come out in this particular example, like every time you take a puzzle, get a credit. Every time you upgrade a puzzle piece, get a credit. So these all apply for the current round. And remember, you can always see, especially for have these tiles or have a tile of each type, you can work towards making sure you've got as many of these shapes as possible and maybe guide which puzzles you want to get. Now the credits, at any time during your turn, you can spend 2 of your active credits, so not credits you've earned this turn, to immediately take any of the actions, and that doesn't count towards your 3 action limit. There is still the limit, though, of only being able to do the master action once per turn because it's so powerful. You can, however, spend as many sets of 2 credits as you want to take as many extra actions as you want to. Now, if the game ends from the black stack running out, we do it as normal. We have 1 more round, and then everyone can do finishing touches to spend pieces to lose a point each time you do a piece. But if the game ends through the now normal way of all the finesse tiles running out after 10 rounds, there is no extra round, and we just have the finishing touches and then end the game. And as you might guess, the player with the most points wins. So that is Project L and its new expansion, Finesse. If you would like to see the game in action, as I said, there is a playthrough that you can go and see. It's linked in the description now, as well as if you would like to know what I think about the new expansion, or go and look at the old playthrough and first impressions if you'd like to see those. Thank you very much for watching this, though, and I'll see you wherever you end up. Bye, everyone.